But we want to thank everybody for coming out to the Biloxi Boat Show 2025 this year and hanging out at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum. That's right. My name is Jared, and this is Joey off here off stage. You'll see him here in just a second. We are with Brownwater Banter. We are a local podcast. If you've never heard of us, check us out. Look us up on Facebook. Let me fix that real quick. We interview charter boat captains all the time, people in the industry, the outdoor life, local businesses, all kind of stuff in just a minute. But like I said, we got a little hot on the mic. We're going to fix it. We'll fix it. 1 second.
Might be me.
Yeah, we're live streaming this out to, yeah, that might have been you.
Yep.
To
all right, we're good now.
Facebook and, nope.
Nope. Jason Aldean had the same problem.
Yeah, it happened.
He had the same problem.
We got a little hot on that, but that's okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Let's see here. We're going to do.
Is that one rolling? Okay.
Yep, we got like I say, we're at the Biloxi Boat Show, man. We got a lot of cool vendors out here today, all different kind of products, all kind of different boats. If you're watching this on the live and you haven't made your way out here yet, I would suggest items to go along with that. Anything you need for a boat, man, they got it here. It's a really cool event. I got the some of the jet skis you can see here in the background. But today we're here. We're going to be talking about tying flies. Is that the right way to say it?
Tying flies.
Tying flies. Okay.
Flies that catch fish.
Flies that catch. Well, those are the best kind.
Yeah.
So what we like to do before we get started into that is, if you could introduce yourself, everybody that's here watching live and on the internet, your name and your.
Native to Gulfport, Mississippi. I've been here most of my life. I grew up on the beach. I'm a charter captain. I've been fishing since most of you've been born. And I just love it, and most recently, and first off, thanks for having me back.
Absolutely.
This boat show is just an outstanding event in Biloxi, and we're just so glad to see the crowd out here, and everybody's having a good time. With all we got going on in the world, this is where you need to be having some fun. So about 8 years ago, I had a customer called me and wanted to go fly fishing. I said, man, you must be, I don't even know. What are you talking about? I don't know nothing about it. He said, I know all about it. You just put me on some fish. I said, yeah, I need to learn more about this hobby. So I got into it, and there's a fly fishing club in Ocean Springs. We call ourselves the Mississippi Coast Fly Fishers. We're a fly fishing international club. So much knowledge, just a wealth of knowledge. And so as an angler, I wanted to get more into it, and I started getting into it, and I started tying flies, and it's just a really good thing for me. And I think it's something a little bit different than y'all have heard before. And so today, I'm going to tie a couple of flies that are standard in the industry. And the first fly I'm going to tie is it's a deep minnow, but it's mostly known as a Clouser fly by Bob Clouser, and it's nothing more than a hook. When you fish it, the hook's always up, which is good for us because we have grass, rocks, and shells, and you just don't want it. And when the fish picks it up, the hook is right there. So it's really simple. It's not rocket scientist. So I always start with a really good brand of hook. I use Gamakatsu hooks. And the first thing you do is put a thread base on this hook, and I got thread, this is 210 denier, and you just wrap it on the hook, and I go back here on this particular fly to about the point of the hook. It's real simple. And the first thing and it's an olive bucktail fly with red flash in it, and if you were in the bass world, it would be called a motor oil worm. It catches everything. So I'm taking this lead eye, I don't know if you can see it, I'm putting it on this hook, and I'm about to do about 5 wraps this way, and I'm gonna turn it that way and do about 5 wraps that way, and I'm gonna go around, and it's pretty dang tight, okay? And I'm gonna move my thread back to, this is the bottom of the fly. I've got it inverted. This is a rotating vise. The product we're using is a bucktail. I've got different dyed bucktails. This is an olive bucktail. So I'm just going to cut me some bucktail off, and I'll talk about. So I'm going to tie me a bucktail, and I'm going to get my the ends of the bucktail pretty as even as I can for this demonstration. And I'm going to cut this bucktail. Yeah, we got people for that. So I'm going to take this bucktail and I'm going to lay it right there. And I'm going to make me a few little loose wraps. And I'm just not even, there's no tension on this thread. I'm just basically putting it on there, the thread tension. And then I'm going to fold that bucktail over those eyes. And I'm going to make me a few wraps back here. And I'm going to wind up right back there. And I'm going to bring it back and start right there. We're almost done. I'm going to invert it. And I've got a product called Crystal Flash. You know, who knows what it's made out of. But I'm going to take me about 3 strands of this. And that's going to be the red color. And I'm using this pink thread so you can see it, but I would probably just use a red or a green thread. And I'm going to lay this over here. And I'm going to get it just like I want it.
So that's your flasher right there,
That's
right?
the flash. That's the flash. And I want that flash to be about even with my bucktail, just like that other fly. And I'm going to cut it off. All right. I'm going to take me another piece of bucktail, just like the first. And on this bucktail, less is more. It's just not much. It's not much on there. I'm going to try to balance it out just like before, make it kind of even. And I'm going to try to measure it about the same, and I'm going to cut that dude off. And we are just about done with this guy right here. I'm going to tie one more. Then I'm going to tell you about it. So I'm going to put this on the front, same place. And I'm going to tie it down. Signature X wraps on there right there to make it look kind of cool.
Are y'all able to see on the monitor down there? I know it's a little
Can
bit
y'all see
delayed,
that?
but yeah, just to get your better close.
It's just like microsurgery, but different.
Yeah.
And so to make it, to finish it up, I'm just going to put a couple little half hitches in it. Not much at all. And here's a cool little deal. So to make it really durable, I use UV resin. And I'll put just a little bit. Hadn't had this open today, but
That just anchors everything down, I'm guessing, right?
yeah, it's kind of like your super glue.
Right.
And the way this works is when I get the amount on here that I want, kind of like that right there. Then to make it dry instantly,
Oh,
I'm going to
flashlight.
use ultraviolet light.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And that cures it. You see how it glows?
Yeah.
It's an ultraviolet like the black light. I know a lot of y'all was in the clubs and had the black lights. I get it. Okay, and then that's dry. It's over with.
So
And
that's
that
it, huh?
sorted out, you know, to make it look pretty. But that's the infamous chandelier special.
And what are we mimicking with that? What are we trying to mimic, or is that just a
Well, you
flash
know,
or something that's going to see?
You know, in the water, it's like an oyster worm or it's a little shrimp. When you do this guy in the water, it's just like a jig.
Uh-huh.
And there's something about this olive and red. I don't know what it is, but ask any bass fisherman about a motor oil worm, and they got them in their box. So we do the same thing. So I'm going to try another one.
Okay.
Of a contrasting color, if you want me to.
Oh yeah.
We'll do.
Yeah.
We'll do. So we're starting from scratch. I got a hook. You saw me put a hook in there. I got white, 210 nylon. I'm gonna do the same thing.
Now all these supplies, I'm sure y'all have the links and stuff in y'all's group of where y'all get all
Yeah,
this
you
stuff
know,
from.
online. You can get it at Amazon, Old Florida. There's fly shops everywhere. And I'm going to cut that little tag off, and I'm going to advance my thread. That's a fancy word for moving the thread back to about where that eye goes. And I didn't tell you a while ago, there's a little tip. I make a little bump right here. I put a little ball of thread, a little bit more than a regular.
Got it.
And then that little bump fills this void. So I twist it it tightens it up. And then I put these little wraps on the bottom of it.
I can tell
And
that's not the first time you've done that.
You know.
He didn't just start doing
know
this
what I'm saying.
Today is not the first.
You know
one
what
you've
I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be the bottom. So we're going to put white on the bottom to
Now-
mimic a fish's belly.
On these two right here, we're popping it almost like a jig head? Is it
Yeah,
rolling
you just
on
kinda-
bottom?
Yeah, just bump it like a jig, but slower.
All right.
Slower.
So barely moving it. Just
So
bump
this
it.
Yeah,
isn't,
you know-
this isn't top water.
Today.
And you may have said this earlier. I was messing with the live
Yeah,
stream
yeah.
over here. What did you just cut that off of? What is that
This
exactly?
Bucktail.
This is a bucktail. This is
Oh,
a
wow,
deer's
okay.
tail.
It's an actual buck's
And
tail.
they are dyed. They are dyed for the colors. I mean, it's beautiful. You can get, I mean, anything that you can think of, we can mix and match. And there's multicolors. We use, you know, we elk hair. We're measuring it about a hook and a half. Cut off this right here. I'm gonna lay it right there. Get right now. Don't mess up. Tie this guy down right here. Go under, tie this guy down right here, and I got a little hair sticking up right there. You know that? I'm gonna pull that out. That's kind of high in there. And on this one right here, we're gonna invert it, and we're gonna put some pearl crystal flash in it
For the flash.
for the
Now,
flash.
there's no difference, I'm guessing, between tying a saltwater fly and a freshwater fly. Is there any
No.
difference at all? Just different material.
Well, most freshwater flies, like you see for brown trout and rainbows, they're really small. But our fish aren't small.
Right.
I mean, we're fishing for 40-inch redfish, you know, and 40-inch jack crevalle. If you can catch it on conventional, you can catch it on a fly. And I didn't believe that, so I'm taking this flash. I'm gonna lay it right here, tie this guy down, bend this other part on the other side, tie this guy down, and I'm doing it pretty quick, you know, just for y'all to see.
Yeah, and is there a science to how much you're using as far as each one of these are concerned, or are you
Experience.
right?
Sometimes when the water's really, really clear, you don't want much flash
Okay.
because a normal fish doesn't have much flash, but a lot of times our water is not that crystal clear.
No.
Yeah.
And so you need a little flash to
Hence
get
the
that
name of the show.
Yeah.
to get the guy's
Being
attention, you
that
know.
brown water.
Yeah.
You know, the brown water.
Yeah.
And so I'm measuring me off some more bucktail here. I'm kind of mixing it, and I'm gonna cut it right here.
So you're making this look really.
Fortunate, if I'm not doing guy stuff,
Right.
which this is guy stuff, I guess. But I try to tie every day. I sell flies. I send them all over, and people will send me a special request and say, hey, you know, I can't buy these. Can you? The latest thing, and I got some stuff sticking out here. Look at that right there. That's not good. I'm gonna cut it off. These crappie jigs.
Yeah.
These live scope guys are sniping these crappie in deep water, and so I tie them some heavy jigs, the colors they want. I had a guy yesterday from Massachusetts that was here. He sent me a picture. Come, and I'm like, well, let me make. I mean, it's like anything else. It's kind of like a craft, but it's a little bit of skill involved, but it's mostly repetition.
Yeah.
It's just like a carpenter, you know, making a cabinet after he's made
And you dried it again.
4 or 5 kitchens. You know, he's got it. So we're pretty much done with this one right here, and that is a red over black. I mean, a red over a white. It's just got to.
Yeah, you can show and tell. You can grab it and
Yeah,
pass
this
it
is-
around.
Yeah, take a minute.
Grab it and pass it around.
Take a look. There's a whole box of them. This is a really cool fly. This right here is raccoon,
Really?
fin raccoon, from Finland.
A Finnish raccoon.
A Finnish raccoon. Yeah, a finished raccoon. He's actually a
Yeah,
finished
Finnish.
raccoon.
Yeah, he's finished,
You
for
know,
sure.
but it's got a lot of stuff. It's got the wiggly legs to it, and this purple and black is just a redfish crushing fly. I don't know what it is about purple and black, but they just love them. Crab fly. It's kind of like got the little segments on it. There's nothing but a craft fur and a black magic marker. You know,
Oh, so you just put the rings on it with
yeah,
the magic
put the rings
marker.
on it with a magic marker. You know, so it's just so many designs, so many things you can do with it. When you put that in the water, that tail just swims. We're just trying to mimic what's out there. It's just about it, but it's something that you can enjoy. It doesn't. I have minimal tools here. I got a couple pair of screws.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, it looks like to get into this, the setup is not.
We have loaner vices, screwdrivers, thread. I mean, there's probably right here is probably $100.
Yeah.
You know, these bucktails are, I don't know, $7.95. You know, and I probably got 7 or 8 of them up here. And,
okay.
you know, just not much to it.
Right.
It's not much to it.
What would something like a finished product like this go if you to sell it? I mean, do you sell them singles or you sell them in a batch?
How much time? Some of these things are really, really time. I don't know how much time we got left, but I'll show you something that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is called deer hair spinning.
Okay. Let's do
This
it.
Does
okay.
it? Yeah.
We
and
teach
teach you how to
this.
do it, right?
So we have 2 meetings a month. On the 1st and 3rd Tuesday of the month at the Gulf Coast Research Lab. We're fortunate enough to have an agreement with them. The 1st Tuesday of the month, we have a program. We'll have a speaker. Actually, on the 1st Tuesday of the month, I'm talking about speckled trout fishing year-round. But they don't always have, sometimes they have good people, you know, so, but I drew the straw. So, if I was going to do fur, but I don't. But this is just to show you what. So you see how that just kind of lays down flat.
Right.
And there's a reason for it. There's no pressure on that thread, but I'm going to show you what pressure does. And then on the 3rd Tuesday of the month, we tie flies. We have a fly tying group. And I'm going to get something that you can really see. Let's use something crazy. Let's just use
chartreuse.
Chartreuse. It'll probably show good on camera. And this creates something with it. I'm going to get an amount here that's about the size of a pencil.
So this is almost like art.
Yeah.
Your imagination.
Right.
Whatever you want to come up with.
So let's say, I'm just going to say, I don't know, something like that. So I'm going to cut this off right here. So I'm going to put this on here. And I'm going to put a couple wraps on here just to secure it. And then I'm going to do some magic stuff. I'm going to spin this around this fly. Oh, it should spin around this fly. It should spin around that fly. And then we fold it back. We fold it back. And we put a little thread dam in front of it.
Mane on the back of this thing. What are we doing?
Yeah, and then I'll show you. We're going to cut it.
Fancy.
We're going to trim it up. We're going to make a head out of this guy right here.
Oh yeah.
Not top water.
No.
And I'm having held this one right here. You're getting your weight out of these eyes. Is that correct? Okay.
Yeah. And so what I'm doing here is I'm building up a thread wall to try to push that back. You see, it's going backwards now.
Yeah.
And so this is
almost like a mohawk.
This is not so I'm going to give it a haircut here in just a minute.
Yeah, trim it up.
I'm going to shave this guy up, and then you can look. So I'm going to just tie this off just for general purposes, so it don't come back. So that's got my head. To make it look like a minnow's head, and I've got some of those boxes for you to look at, but you can make this.
You might have missed your calling as a barber.
Well, you know, I could do a little styling on the side. You know,
if I had hair, I'd have you cut mine.
You know, well, it's just so much you can. I mean, there's so much I can do. I mean, you know, I have to have a good quality product to do something really good. But it's just, you can shave this guy down, and you can put some eyes on him, and let's just say I didn't have oh man, this is really getting wild right here. But just say I wanted to put an eye on this guy, and I didn't have an eye. Okay.
All right.
This is some tricky stuff right here. Watch this right here. I'm gonna turn my light on. I'm gonna put 1 drop, if I can. It'll come out of there. Come on.
There it goes.
There it goes.
Come
yeah.
on. That's
Coming
bubbles
out.
there. Well, let's get a little bigger than that.
Well, that light's bright when you look straight into
Yeah,
it.
it
like
is.
that.
Yeah,
It is
so,
definitely
that's,
bright.
so that's an eye right there.
Oh, so you're actually putting the eye with the
I'm
actual
making an
curing
eye.
resin or glue.
I'm making an eye.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just basically what you want to do. I mean, it's not the best, but it kind of gives you an
Oh,
idea.
yeah, I see it. Rays, it looks like eyes.
use,
Yeah.
You can use what you have to make what you want. It's just, it takes a few time to do it. It's just, it's fun for me. I like it.
Yeah, it looks like it'd be a good pastime.
It's pretty cool. I love it in the wintertime. It's cold. It snowed 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm downstairs time
flies.
You know.
Yeah. Ain't no lie.
Yeah.
I'm time flying.
That ain't
no
lie.
I just enjoy doing it, and I like sharing what I've learned and these little tips and stuff, and I like making a mess. I'm a hands-on type of guy, and we catch everything. We catch, I guess it was a week ago, just doing the same thing you would do with a jig angler.
Oh yeah,
To
absolutely.
be able to know another thing. It's like I can throw a cast net.
Right.
I can get bait.
Or like even
know.
being able to repair one.
Yeah.
Just something about it
And
just
so,
feels good.
Yeah, it's just another way to be on the water and to be a part of this sport that we love so much.
That's right. That's
And
right.
you offer fly charters, is that correct?
I do fly charters.
Yeah. So
I
if
do
you have,
fly charters.
So if we go fly chartering with you, do we have to have the gear, or are you going to
So-
bring most of it?
Yeah, so I talk to my people. Fly fishing is kind of like hunting. They mostly have their own gear
Right.
because they like the way theirs feels. There's
Yeah.
all these rods, and they buy in lines and rods with different sensitivities and stuff. Most of the time, they bring their own gear. If close, but mostly
You get the cheap stuff.
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But mostly when we're charging. Triple tail is another wonderful thing to catch on fire. When you get down on this part of the deer hair, it's hollow. And that's how a deer stays warm, but the hair is hollow. And so it'll actually float. So you put the right amount of deer hair on an unweighted fly and it'll float. And you make a little triple tail fly that looks like a shrimp or a crab, he's got to have it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just got to have it.
On the
Yeah.
unweighted flies like that, does wind become an issue when you talk about? You can't throw
you
into
wait
the
the
wind, you have to-
line too, don't you? Wait the
Yeah,
line.
so the fly fishing deal, this was the hardest thing for me to get my head wrapped around. You're not casting the fly. You're
Okay.
casting the line.
Okay.
Right.
The line, the head of the line, which is the throwing end of it,
Gotcha.
is weighted.
Gotcha.
And as it rolls out there and it lays down, the smoother, the slower, the
Less
more
yeah. Smack on the
consistent
water, right?
you are. And making a 50, 60 foot cast in the same wind that you would cast conventional, you can do it.
Okay.
It's a 9-foot rod. You got a 9-foot rod, you got a 9-foot leader, so your arm, so you got 20 foot of line right there.
Yeah.
And then you pull out another 20 or 30 feet and you're casting over to those boats. It's
Yeah.
just not that hard. It just takes a little practice. It takes somebody showing you to go through the steps. About fly fishermen and ladies, they're conservationists.
Oh, no
We
doubt.
very rarely keep a fish.
Yeah.
We catch a fish, we take a picture of the fish, we release the fish to swim off.
That's right.
When you take a fly fishing trip out, very rarely you're cleaning fish at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's not like going out and catching a cooler full of white trout.
I've done it freshwater. I
Yeah.
love it. I've just never done saltwater.
And we go to Davison River, caught brown trout and rainbow trout. I went to Broken Bow, Oklahoma, with a group with about 20 people from New Orleans and our club, and we have a ball.
The excursion.
Yeah,
Take
it's an
the
excursion.
out.
The water's clear. You got a big boat to ride in. You're covered going out. You're covered going back. We have lunch. I mean, it's just a cool thing to do.
There's no doubt about it. If you've never done it, you need to try it. I will definitely say that.
Yeah.
Come see us, man.
My last question before we get out of here: how many fish can I catch off of just till it wears completely out?
Well, this stuff is pretty. I would say it's as durable as any soft plastic you would float.
Right.
I mean, you could tear anything up, but.
And when it gets tore up, I guess you just cut it off and redo it again.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's just. I'd say they're equal to any lure, chomp them, chew them up. There's really nothing there for them to chew up. I mean, it's just the coating on that. You can feel that. I mean, that's strong, man. And.
You kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, though, but all these components that it takes to make these flies are available on something like Amazon. I can get them individually on Amazon.
You can get them on Amazon. You can go to a fly fishing fly supply shop like Old Florida, Dakota, J. Stockard, Space Coast. I mean, you just go on. You've never done it. Go to Google, fly fishing materials.
Right.
Here's 10 stores.
Boom. Okay.
I got you.
So everything's available. Online now. You're getting it
Purchase order like.
for purchase more flies for $50-$60, and I ship them to you.
Okay.
You spend $3,000 of Belize and you ain't got them. So what what you gonna do?
I hear you.
Well, tell us about the group again. Tell us where we can find you.
If somebody watching this on the internet,
tell us about the group again. Tell us where we can find you.
If somebody watching this on the internet, I want to get into this. Where do I need to go?
So it's free to the public to attend. It's $40 for a family. We have tournaments that run all year. We have the largest speckled trout, the largest redfish, the largest jack crevalle, the most triple tail. We have the most species. We have an inshore slam. We have a banquet at the end of the year. Most everybody walks out with a really nice gift. Everybody's willing to share knowledge. There's no secrets. And hey, just come check us out.
Yeah.
Come see us. We're at the research lab. We give a scholarship every year to the research lab based on we give a scholarship every year to the research lab based on we're doing all we can do to blend in with the community and help people share knowledge.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Tell us your charter boat too. If anybody wants to
Real
jump on you.
Real Outlaw Charters. I'm on Facebook. You can see me at the Matrix Shad booth. Give me a call. I've got a slip down in Gulfport. Got my big yellow sign up there. Call me anytime for a fishing report. If you have a general question or if you want to go fishing, it doesn't matter. Just give me a call. I'm here for you.
We'll drop the links in the comment section below. We thank everybody for watching on the live. Thank you, Mr. Bill, for doing this with us, man.
Much
it's always good
me,
talking
man.
to you.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
sir. Absolutely.
Good job.
Thank
Great
y'all
job,
for
man. Good
hanging
job,
out
brother.
here. Anybody have any questions they want to ask before we end this about the flies?
What's your favorite fish to catch on the fly?
Favorite fish to catch on the
Favorite
fly?
fish to catch.
Look, we had a tarpon on. I had a guy. He's down there. We had two tarpon on 2 years ago. I mean, it's just an amazing fish. I love catching. They're a pain in the butt, but I love catching jack crevalle on it. Jack crevalle is probably one of the underrated game fish we have. It's like catching a tuna. You're catching a jack crevalle on a fly rod.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah,
This ain't no brown trout blues. And it's and they're just right there on the beach. You know, so I love catching speckled trout on them. I don't guess I really have a favorite fish. I love catching triple tail on them because triple tail is like a brim on steroids, a prehistoric looking something. There's not a whole lot known about them, and they're great table. Just if you can catch it on a rod and reel, you can catch it on a fly rod. It just takes a little just going out and doing it.
Yes, ma'am. The question was, what inspired you to start fly fishing?
You know, I
question.
watched a guy fly fishing. I had never seen anybody fly fishing. I mean, I've seen it on TV. I watched a guy fly fishing, and this guy had a IGFA record, and he came down here and couldn't catch one of our fish. And I'm that guy. I'm giving him You know, okay, he had a record. He had the big belt on, you know, like Tyrus, the wrestler.
Right.
He said, I catch a permit. I've got a world record. I said, okay. And he couldn't catch. I'm like, I want to be a part of that. I want to know. I want to know what that feels like. And so it's just, I think once you see it, you're like, I want to do that. And you can start at any age. You know, you're the perfect age to start. It's ageless. I mean, we've got people that are fly fishing that are 84 years old, and we've got kids just like you that are coming along. So it's ageless. Thanks for the question.
Yep. Anybody else?
Now's the time.
And if you're still here at the boat show at 5 o'clock, we have, is it Donnie that's going to be
Yeah,
up
Donnie
here?
gonna do some boat
5
detailing
o'clock,
with us.
Donnie Bosar is going to come up and talk to
Nice.
us about detailing boats, and he details everything, but he's going to be specifically talking about boats today.